Now, Wednesday truly took the world by storm, and you're back with season 2. So, Tim, could you tell us a little bit about what we can expect from season 2? What is season 2 all about?
Well, I mean, it's Wednesday, so Wednesday is Wednesday. But I think in this season we delve a bit more into the family relationships, and everybody's got a weird family, and this one is no different. So we just explore, mother-daughter, and Morticia and her mother, and Wednesday and Pugsley. So the family dynamic is a bit richer in this season.
Can't wait. Sounds like you've definitely dialed up the family dynamics, the mystery, and horror also. What were your main areas of focus in directing season 2? We'd love to hear more details about the experience.
Well, I mean, for my first real foray into TV, but we treated it like we're making a movie. So each episode for us is like we're making a film. It's got the same dynamic, it's the same sort of creativity that you put into a film. So we just working with this wonderful cast, and we had some new people coming in like Steve Buscemi and Joanna Lumley, and many other people that just brought a freshness and a newness to the working with these lovely people.
Right, and as you said, we delve into the family dynamics, and you bring the family, Pugsley and the parents, to Nevermore Academy. Could you tell us your decision to why you chose Nevermore Academy as the backdrop for the Addams Family drama?
Well, it's a school for weirdos, for a family of weirdos, and I don't know. I never really was a big fan of school, so school is school to me, and I don't know. Like Wednesday is she's the biggest outcast in a school for outcasts. So it's a place that she goes, but I'm not so sure she enjoys school either. But gotta go to school.
감독님께는 80년대부터 2025년까지 거의 40년이 넘는 시간 동안 팀버튼의 걸 인 블랙이 정말 세대를 뛰어넘어서 전설적인 사랑을 받는 것 같습니다. 이 걸 인 블랙들을 왜 이렇게 전 세대가 사랑하는 것 같은지 그 이유 궁금합니다. 마지막으로 스톱모션 굉장히 인상적인데 이 스톱모션 시퀀스가 AI 기술의 시대의 팀버튼의 대답으로 들어도 될지에 대한 질문 드리고 싶습니다. 감사합니다.
And for Tim, for nearly 4 decades, since the 80s until today, Tim Burton's Girl in Black, as we call them, have been, taking the world by storm. Why is it, do you think, that your version of these girls in black appeal to so many people and also so many different generations? And the third question is also one for you, and I'll remind you as we go. But we loved seeing the stop motion animation. Can we say that your love or your work in stop motion animation is Tim Burton's answer to the way the world is changing, especially in the era of artificial intelligence?
I don't know. I mean, it kind of goes on with what they're saying. I mean, it shows people that show an individuality. Whether it was like Lydia from Beetlejuice or Catwoman or Astrid, or Wednesday. I mean, all these characters represent a strength and individuality, and that's something that I've always, felt strongly about, and so those kind of characters represent that very same thing that we're discussing.
And the third question about, can we say that the stop motion animation is your answer to AI?
Well, I mean, my answer, because I've loved that form just because it's so tactile and it's so old-fashioned. So I am more, I'm kind of an anti-technology kind of a person. So stop motion is kind of, for me, it goes back to just true creativity and true artistry and handmade things and things made from human beings. So yeah, in some ways, I always like to retain that feeling.
All right, thank you.
감독님께는 이제 아까 시리즈를 처음 하는 거지만 영화처럼 비슷한 다이나믹과 영화에 투입하는 그만큼의 창의력으로 작업했다고 하셨습니다. 저는 그 스톱모션 영화가 나왔을 때 저도 한 사람의 팬으로서 굉장히 좋았는데요. 감독님께서 여태까지 일어났던 그런 창의적 그 성과들, 영화적 성과들 그 중에서 좀 어떤 정수를 이 시리즈에 녹여내고 싶으셨는지 한 말씀 부탁드리겠습니다.
And then the second question was for you, Tim. As you said, this was your first foray into a series, and you have said that you treated it as if you were treating a film with a level of creativity and passion and expertise. And I loved watching the stop motion sequence as a huge fan of yours. So my question to you is, what would you say was the essence or the most valuable things that you carried all throughout your career that you wanted to put into Wednesday?
Well, I mean, I didn't really think that way. I mean, for me, to treat it like a movie, I mean, part of the joy for me on this was, you know, working with these. I mean, it's so strange because in the first season, we cast this whole show by Zoom. You know, I didn't meet these two until we went into it. So it was a very, very strange process. But working with them is one of the reasons why I want to do this show, because they are so talented. And they inspire me. They show me things every day. I come onto the set, and they just, that's what we all try to create, some kind of environment where we're going back and forth with each other and supporting each other. So it is like a weird family, and for me, that's what keeps me going every day, is working with these two and everybody else, because it's like that's the creativity, that's the joy, and that's why you like to make things.
Thank you.
지금까지 한 40년 넘게 작품을 연출하면서 이제 웬즈데이를 비롯해 다른 작품에서도 좀 평범과는 좀 거리가 먼 괴짜를 주로 다뤄오셨는데, 좀 팀 버튼 감독님께 이 괴짜의 의미, 좀 상징성이 무엇인지 궁금하고요. 그리고 두 번째 질문은 이제 팀 버튼 감독님이 선보이는 괴짜의 좀 특이점 중 하나가 괴짜이지만 좀 사랑할 수밖에 없는 매력을 지닌 점이라고 생각하는데, 좀 그런 밸런스를 좀 어떻게 잡으려고 하는 편인지 궁금합니다.
I have two questions for you, Tim. The first one is, so for over 40 years, you have been creating so many wonderful stories, and at the heart of your stories, including Wednesday, we always see the outcast, right? They are far from being your quote-unquote normal character. What does the outcast mean to you, and what does it symbolize? And the second question for you is, I think one thing that really stands out about your outcast characters is that while they are not, again, quote-unquote normal, they're so lovable. You cannot help but feel drawn to them. How do you maintain the balance between wanting people to feel like they are strange, but also attached to them?
Well, I mean, the word normal is a very strange word. It's like, I don't even know what that means, People talk about, like to say the Addams family, they're a weird family. Well, I mean, that's the thing. Well, I've never met one family that isn't weird, Most people have a strangeness inside. In fact, when I hear the word normal, I get disturbed because I don't know exactly what that even means, I mean, the word normal people would scare me more than sort of what we consider outcasts. That's because that's how I felt. I feel a lot of people feel that way. I'm sure everybody has that slight feeling of like they don't belong, they don't fit in, and they're struggling with whatever, school, family, society, whatever. So for me, that's normal. That's how you feel. So that's like in a monster movie. The monsters were always the normal. For me, they were the most appealing characters, and all the human beings were the scary ones. So I always saw things in that sort of different way. But for me, that's the most emotional type of person and the most something I identify with.
And how do you maintain the balance between, wanting them to...
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it's just, you have to do what's in your heart. And so for me, that's what I understand. And so for me, those are the likable characters. And so that's why I identify with all these characters, and especially Wednesday. When I read it, I go like, it felt like me. And so it's something, it's like we're all talking about this. It's like these are the kind of characters that we identify with.
감독님은 이제 데뷔할 때부터 본인만의 개성이 굉장히 뚜렷한 감독님이었잖아요. 근데 이런 재능은 이제 지금 후배 예술가들이 반드시 갖춰야 될 그런 요소인데, 그 후배 예술가들한테 자신만의 색깔을 갖는 방법을 조언해준다면 어떤 말씀을 해주고 싶은지 궁금하고, 그리고 개인의 개성이 약간 그 대중이랑 접점을 찾는 게 되게 중요하잖아요. 그 관련 노하우도 좀 말씀해 주시면 고맙겠습니다.
This might be slightly a follow-up question to what you just said, Tim. But from your very first debut, I feel like you were always uniquely yourself and very true to yourself. And I think that's something that's very important for artists, especially those that are just starting out. What advice would you give to starting out or aspiring artists in terms of how to approach finding your own uniqueness and your own color?
Well, I think it's interesting because when I was there, you struggle with that. And finally, what you have to go is you have to just sort of shed all of that and just first start with what is important to you, what's in your heart, and what do you enjoy, what do you like? Is it drawing, is it music, is it writing, is it thinking, just any ideas. And that's where it has to start. You can't think about, especially now it's very difficult with like social media where so many elements are, you know, clouding the air. You have to kind of go back and you know, for me, I never said I'm going to be a director or this or that. I went like, okay, this is what I feel, and so it starts with a drawing or something else, and then you just hope for the best. But that's the thing you always have to hang on to. It's just your core feeling of what you love and what's important to you.
And also part of the question, the follow-up question was, I think it's important to find a sweet spot, right, between your genuine self, your unique characteristic, and also, of course, what the people want to see, because you do want to share your art with the public. How do you go about finding that? I think we'd love to hear from all three of you about that.
Yeah, well, again, for me, it's nothing, I never ever said, in fact, even to this day, I go, oh, this is what my audience would like to see. If you start to think that way, you start to lose your humanity and become sort of a thing, a commodity, some kind of a business or whatever. So I think in fact, I at the beginning I didn't know, so I didn't think about it. Then once you become something, you have to really kind of protect yourself and protect that sort of side of you so that you don't start thinking outside of your body and outside of yourself.
At least make sure we can see your faces. Perfect.
It's atoms with two Ds, like padded room.